it's Sumner. So today I'm gonna be kicking off a brand new series for you called Nostalgic Friday. Yeah, that's right. And every Friday I post a brand new video about something like everything you love from your childhood. And also, yes. And I thought I'd kick it off with something like sharing, my favorite nostalgic show of all time, even though I may have shared it so many times on this channel before, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And pretty much give you the reasons why I think it's nostalgic to me. And why I recommend it as well. Okay, so as you know, I'm a big Nickelodeon fan. I love all types of Nicktoons. Except, I'm more into the early 2000s because, the early 2000s era Nickelodeon is what I grew up with. And, every other, type of fan, and every other, some of the 90s shows, some of them were pretty much okay, in my opinion. I remember watching some of them when they were still on air and all, so, yeah. But my favorite nostalgic show comes from, the early 2000s era Nickelodeon, and that is Danny Phantom. Okay, now I think I'll give you guys maybe a few reasons why I would consider this my favorite nostalgic show, and there's a lot of reasons. I never really grew too much, I guess, on any superheroes, like anyone that's owned by Marvel or DC, but I guess heroes that aren't owned by comic book companies are my thing. Yeah. So this is what I'm basically calling. So this is basically why I just I like this show. And pretty much the backstory behind, how I got into it, it's kind of a mystery because I don't remember, watching it for the very first time. I was 3 years old when it first came out, and I just don't have any memory of it whatsoever. At least it kept going until I turned 5 and I was able to remember it. And I'm just happy that a year later the Nicktoons Unite games were able to get me back into it. And if you're wondering how, let me just tell you. So it all started back in in 20, I guess, I don't know, 15 or 16. I was just playing. I was just on my iPad, just scrolling through some stuff, and I happened to spot a picture of Timmy Turner, Dougley Puppy from Tough Puppy, and Danny Phantom. I'm like, oh, I remember him. I liked watching Danny growing up. And then I started looking at more and more. I'm like, wow. And here's a little something I didn't really know at the time. I didn't know all those 3 shows were created by Butch Hartman. Yeah. Although it probably would have been pretty easy to notice because they had the same animation style. But I guess my reason is because I didn't know who the heck he was at the time. When both Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom were airing at the same time, especially Tough Puppy. Even though Danny Phantom was long gone after when Tough Puppy aired. So, yep. And it was just so it was just really, it was just really something I enjoyed. I enjoyed looking at. And pretty much I then later stumbled upon some some, I guess, some screenshots for some YouTube gameplays of some of the Nicktoons crossover games. I'm like, wait, there were Nicktoons crossover games? I'm like, wait. I remember there used to be this one game called Globs of Doom that had a lot of characters in it. I'm like, yeah, that's basically pretty much the only game I remember. And I had no idea it was the last one. Like, because I remember back in, like, I guess it was 2007, when Danny Phantom got moved to Nicktoons, because because for some reason they stopped showing it on Nickelodeon. I thought it ended or something, but nope. Apparently they moved the 3rd season to be aired on Nicktoons, if you know what I mean. So after that, I actually took the look at them because I was interested, like, seeing how cool they were. And, well, I didn't really look at them in the order of which they all came out. Like, the first game I looked at was Battle for Volcano Island, which was cool because it was Danny and SpongeBob. And here's a funny story. Whenever SpongeBob was on TV, I actually would imagine Danny being in the episode. So I was basically into cartoon crossovers before I even knew what the heck cartoon crossovers even were, even though we had the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. But wouldn't it have been cool if maybe we had, I don't know, maybe Jimmy Neutron, Timmy Turner, and, teaming up with, Danny and SpongeBob, like, into, like, a made-for-TV movie. They would have aired years ago, but, come on, the games were cool, so. And then, after that, I looked at Nicktoons Unite, and still cool. I'm like, oh my god. And I tell ya, I was just so amazed, because I was seeing 4 characters that I grew up watching come together. I'm like, oh my god, this is so nostalgic. I can't believe, man, I wish I grew up with this game, but I wasn't too big of a video game person back then, and I'm still not. So I just randomly watch people play them for the heck of it, because, I don't know, I'm just not very good at video games for some reason, because some of them, like, the controllers take time to memorize, and, like, there's just so much. And then the next game was Globs of Doom, and then it was Attack of the Toy Bots. However, the Attack of the Toy Bots one was a Let's Play, because the person who did the playthroughs for the other 3 Nicktoon games didn't do Attack of the Toy Bots. Yeah, I don't know why, but hey, it was still cool to say the least. And pretty much, I guess, after getting back into it, I then started looking at fan art and all other types of stuff. And I even discovered some fan fiction, which I thought was cool. I'm like, wow, I love this stuff. And it kind of inspired me to make my own fan fiction, which I kind of failed to do because, it was so hard to upload on fanfiction.net. But now I usually just do it for, private reasons. But I'm thinking of sharing some of it one day. Just not right now at the moment, because it's kind of silly and you might think of it as kind of weird. It's nothing dirty. Like, nothing dirty. I don't make any dirty fan fiction, which is gross because I'm not that type of person who would do that. So, no. Like, really. Now, here's a little thing I kind of want to share. So, back then when I was into Danny Phantom, oh my god, this is kind of silly, but besides having Danny, like, be in an episode of SpongeBob, sometimes whenever I watch Danny Phantom, I always imagined, like, characters that I created in my head were there. And you know what? Thinking about it now, one of them was actually a Mary Sue, and I'm like, ugh. And because I didn't even know what the heck Mary Sue's were back then until now, like, so sorry about that interruption. Anyways, as I was saying, saying. So pretty much. So yeah, I had there was a Mary Sue character, and I also created these fairy characters for Danny. Yeah, I know. I think I'm like, isn't that ripping off the Fairly Odd Parents? Yeah, it is. I did rip off. I did make it look like it was ripping off the Fairly Odd Parents, but here's the difference. I imagined they were sharks. Yep. I don't know why. I had a crazy imagination. And I do remember giving the sharks names, except I only remember the male's name. And they were actually rip-offs of Cosmo and Wanda. Like, the male shark was dumb, and I don't know, he like gets scared very easily. And I actually remember calling him Winslow for some reason. And I also had, and the female shark would always, just like Wanda, get annoyed and, you know, tell him, oh my God, will you just lighten up already? That's what I remember. And I even remember most of the time, like, I would always imagine there being a scene, like, after Danny would transform, the sharks would raise their wands, and they, you know, would, like, you know, they would be wearing superhero capes and masks. Yep. But as for the Mary Sue character, oh my God. Well, I kind of forgot what I named her, but I do remember imagining, like, giving her the ability to fly and actually shoot laser eyes, because that was pretty much all I could think about. I'm just happy I don't do that anymore. And also, I did also imagine her and Danny were a couple. And, well, there were a few other things I did. Like, I actually imagined there being this group of girls in the series who both love Danny. I'm like, yeah, I had a really strange imagination back then, if you know what I mean. Yep. But nowadays, I'm more of, you know, like everyone else on the internet who constantly wants, I guess, a Danny Phantom revival back, which I'm really hoping for that to happen with it. I mean, come on. Invader Zim and Rocco already got their movie, so is Danny Phantom next on that list? Come on, Nickelodeon, you better be doing it. We're not going to stop bugging you. If you bring this guy back, bring him back. But besides that, but now I guess I'm mostly, you know, just the person who I guess, you know, just ships Danny and Sam. And say what you want about it being Russia, anti-fans, because I want you to keep that opinion to yourself, because if you say anything mean, you're getting punished. Because I would prefer myself, who's loved it since she was 5, to be, well, known as the DP Queen, who constantly, you know, knows everything about him, like, you know, like some of the episodes and everything else. So here's the thing. You talk about anything bad, like, least, like, if you say an episode that I like is the worst, you're getting a punishment. Or if you say anything else about the series in general, or anything else in particular, you're getting punished. That's right. I said it. So don't you dare say anything. If you do, I'm going to punish you fair and square. And then, you know, I just like shipping Danny and Sam. Even though, here's a little story that you might that you're probably gonna find weird. So I was 15 when I got back into Danny Phantom, and I had no idea he was 14. And I'm like, now I know there's no problem with ages, but here's the thing, I was almost about to turn 16 when that happened. Like, I was gonna make him my husband. I'm like, you know what, here, some people tend to make their favorite cartoon characters their husbands, so I'm gonna do that. And besides, even though I kind of took it a little too far afterwards, and also, I used to always ship my OC at the time, Flower Rose, who used to be the mascot of this channel. Well, in her Equestria Girls form, not as a pony, because because that would be a little too weird as a pony. But like basically, I imagine them being a couple, and sometimes in some people's fan fiction, I would imagine she was there, and oh man, pretty much. I guess I would also make them married, even though they were teenagers. But hey, who cares? I mean, come on. Like I say in the Toon world, I guess. Well, maybe maybe in the real world, I say Toons can get married at any age, even if Toons don't technically exist in the real world. But hey, that's just my theory. I'm gonna stick to it. And say if you think it's silly. So yeah, I used to do that, but then I guess when I started when I saw the Sanny thing, I'm like, oh, wait, so great. looks like I'm gonna have to give this up. Besides, I say relationships between fictional characters and me don't really work out. But hey, now I'm falling for someone who's way better and who may be, pretty cute, if you know what I mean. Now I guess that I got all that stuff out of the way. I think maybe I should talk about, maybe all other types of stuff that I noticed, like, or here, I know, maybe I should talk about that random crossover that with the Fairly Odd with Danny Phantom, the Fairly Odd Parents, Tough Puppy, and Butch Hartman's newest show, which obviously didn't last very long, Bubs is a Beast, which I guess came out back in 2017, 2016, and was actually the first time where I came up with my catchphrase, "Going fangirl." Yeah, that's right. So I actually remember I was sitting down one day and I actually got the notification for this. I'm like, what the heck is this? And so I click on it and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. But I was like, wait, are those even the original voices for Danny Phantom? They better be, because I don't like it when my favorite voice actors get replaced. Like, no. I'm looking at you, Powerpuff Girls 2016. How dare you replace Tara Strong with Bubbles? But it's alright, because luckily later I found out thanks to social media, which, thank God. Although it would have been easy because they sounded just like how they sounded back when the cartoon aired. It was just super cool, and I loved all the funny moments. Oh, and I even got the comic, the Fairly Odd Phantom comic, which I guess Butch Hartman was handing out, I guess back in Comic-Con, whatever year it was, I can't really remember, which I got as a Christmas present, because, I just wanted to get it, because it just sounded cool. I thought, I need more Nicktoons stuff for my collection. So, yep. And, well, yeah. And to this day, I've continued to watch it. And I've been hoping someday soon we might get a revival. In fact, I've had a dozen ideas for a revival. Like maybe something with the characters maybe being older. I mean, technically I'm not too big of a fan of seeing my favorite characters when they're aged up. But I know they can't be 14 forever, so I'm gonna have to get used to it. So, there's been a lot. In fact, my recent idea is that I thought maybe it could be like, I don't know, like a dark, it could be like a dark drama that I guess maybe, that can dealt with, I guess, some subjects that, I don't know, maybe some kids wouldn't really understand, but I probably would, and everyone else, like an older audience would. Like, really, I enjoy it, and I would love to see a bunch of characters come back. In fact, you know what? I would love it if maybe for once I could have a role on this show, because I want to be a voice actress when I get older, and I've been thinking, I'm like, you know what? I want to be in a show as awesome as Danny Phantom. And if Danny Phantom ever got a revival in, like, I don't know, sometime, and I ever, like, maybe finally get my job as a voice actor, I want to have a role. Like, and I don't really care. Maybe it could be like Danielle or something if they can't get, I don't know, like Anna Sophia Robb or Krisha Swan, who were the original 2 voice actors for Danielle. I think I can do it. If my voice is any good for it, that is. Hold on, let me. Okay. Then let my father morph your DNA so he could save me. What did you guys think? Did that sound like Danielle to you? I don't know. Could have been any good. Here, maybe just tell me in the comments. So, I guess that's all I gotta say for now about this show. So, anyways, if you guys want any more of this series, then please hit the subscribe button and give this video a like, and maybe comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And also, you better not say anything bad about Danny Phantom, or else I, the DP Queen, will give you a punishment. So, no punishment.